dive in. It's just an awesome material. Most of the pieces that I make, I just make my slabs the old-fashioned way. Particularly these canvas tablecloths are great for this, right? But just as a quick way to start this conversation, I have just some things from home. Anybody want to know what that is?
Is that like a bath mat?
It's a bath mat for your dishes. You can put it in the bottom of your sink. And they make them of all different kinds. My wife buys them for me for presents because they have these great textures to them. And boom, right? Now you could create that texture with a tool and a graph, and it would take you most of the months to get it to look as nice and even as that. But you know what I like even more is that you can take something that has an industrial texture like that and go a step further by stretching it out or doing other things to distort it. And it can go from being mechanical to organic.
Dick Wehrs is our artist for this month's exhibition on our schedule. And of course he's a ceramic artist, as you can tell, the works that's up there. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how Dick winds up here at SCC. He was working on a master's degree at the time I was working on my bachelor's at Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville. He was making all kinds of really, very exciting, very textural, rich types of sculptures in ceramics. He lives in Peoria, which I found out. I was like, oh my gosh, let's do an art show and bring you in. And so thank you so much for coming in, and you can tell them all about your artwork and about your career and what you're doing.
All about that.
All about that, yes. But please join me in thanking him for coming in and doing a talk with us. So I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, John, for having me, and thank you all for coming, for your interest. I have continued to do clay. Right out of grad school, I started teaching for a couple years, but then our boys were born, and I started my own art studio. I've continued to make clay art as really a hobby. I hate to say it that way, but I enjoy it very, very much. I got really tired of making the same things. I got really tired of making things just because I needed to sell things, and that took a lot of joy out of it. Now I have a great day job, and I make this for nothing other than the amusement of it. I love to make things. I make it for my amusement. I make it as well for the amusement of others. And yeah, it's debatable whether some of this is amusing or not. Like this guy behind me, a little creepy. I hear creepy a lot. That's okay. It's just for the fun of it. These pieces are really just about play. I'll go into my studio, which is in the basement of my house, and maybe I'll have an idea. More often than not, I don't. If I'm making an architectural piece, like these shrine-like things, then I'll be a lot more deliberate in my planning. But for the most part, these things spring from whatever emerges as I'm making. And the process itself is very simple and lends itself well to spontaneous changes of direction. And just dive in and see where it goes.